Hey everybody, this is Matt from mwmotion.tv. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a four-legged walk cycle. I'm going to be breaking this into 3 parts because it's going to be a long one. So let's jump in. Okay guys, so this is what we're going to be building. We're going to be focusing first on the rear legs because they work quite differently to the front. So we're going to build these and animate these, and then the next part will be the front legs, which we'll then animate out and sync up with the back legs. Finally, we'll do the head and the connecting of the neck and the spine, and we'll add a little tail. So that's going to be the structure of this tutorial series. I'm going to provide all the artwork and After Effects files when I'm finished. But yeah, let's jump in. So I basically broke it down into 3 Illustrator files. So we've got this little head one, which will have all the layers you need. So there's the ears, we've got the joints, which if you've seen my Scooter Boy tutorial, the joints which we're going to use later on to line up the anchor points perfectly. So today we're going to be jumping in and using the rear legs. So we got the joints in the positions, and if I press Command Y, you can see these are just really simple shapes. So if I start solo these layers, oh yeah, I found a new trick the other day which was quite cool. Oh wait, let me just turn, which one is it? Screen pose. Here we go. There we go. This will show you what keys I'm pressing. So yeah, if we come to the layers panel here, if you hold Alt and you click on a layer, it will solo that layer, which is pretty cool. I didn't realize that. And then if you Alt click somewhere else, it turns them all back on and you can solo again. Very handy. So yeah, if we break it down, we've got this really simple shape for the thigh. We've got this simple shape here for the calf, and then we've kind of got this foot layer which will end our IK chain, and then we will be adding this toe on the end to give a little bit more rotations. So this is the file I will be sharing with all of you guys. I have gone into like a weird full screen mode. How did I do that? Ah, did not notice that. Hit F on your keyboard and you can go into full screen apparently. Right, let's get started. I don't need any of this open right now, I don't think, so I'm just going to close Illustrator. Try and make my computer run a bit quicker because this video software I run is pretty demanding. Why is that not closing? There we go. Right, so here we are in After Effects. We're just going to quickly import the artwork. And rear legs, and retain layer sizes, import. Open this composition, and here is the artwork I showed you earlier. So let's zoom in on this leg. So first things first, we're going to get the joint layer. Using explode shape layers, we're going to separate that into the individual circles like what I've shown you before. We're going to hit Command R to get our rulers. I'm going to zoom right in on this joint, and we're going to drop rulers down onto it. Like so. We're going to press Command Alt Shift and colon to lock the rulers. Is that colon? I am confused by my keyboard today. No worries. So we're just going to drag out rulers for all of these joints. Like so. So we're just going to turn these layers off for now. So now, next stage, remember I'm going to be using DUIK like we did with the Skater Boy video. One thing I've noticed, if you don't turn on constantly rasterize before you create the IK rig, if you try to turn them on later on, it will cause loads of issues, and then you won't be able to get that perfect zoom in and zoom out scale. So make sure you've got these turned on before we begin rigging, like so. So now I'm going to zoom in here, I'm going to press Y, and we're just going to drop the anchor points into position. Maybe it's better to have these dots on just real quickly, so we're dropping them to the right place, like so. Alright, let's turn these drum layers off. And then we're going to go to View and Clear Guides, because we don't need them anymore. Right then, where is my DUIK tool? It's not here. There it is. Right, I'm just going to dock DUIK here. Oh, this computer's being nice and slow right now. Let's just pull this out so I can see. Gotta love working on a laptop again, it makes everything nice and slow. Let's just do a quick save. And I'm just going to call this Dear Rig. Here we go. Right, so we're going to make a controller here. So we want, when we move this part, we want to control this kind of zigzag kind of, I don't know what you'd call that shape, but we want to basically bend from here, this knee to this point, up and down, and rotate this part of the leg. So we're going to create the controller on this part of the leg. Oh yeah, we need to quickly rig this up with parenting. So the toe connects to the foot, foot to the calf, calf to the thigh. So then the IK chain order is foot, holding command, foot, calf, thigh, and finally controller. Then we're going to go to IK, select two layer IK and goal. Now that's going to have distorted our artwork because of the IK direction, which is located here. So we're just going to change that back to normal. And then if we move this up and down, we get the kind of motion we're going to want in the top part of the leg. And by hitting rotation, we can control the bottom part. And then finally, we can rotate this part of the foot here for some extra motion. Just going to zero that out. I should have put a ruler in for the floor. I'm just going to go back quickly before we did the rig, and I'm just going to drop a ruler in here for the floor so we can reference this later on. Because of the way I built the Illustrator files, they're all lined up to connect together at the same height of the floor, so it's good to have that line drawn in. So anyway, let's do this again. So foot, calf, thigh, controller, IK, two layer, create. I'm going to flip that, and there we go. So now we're just going to rotate this until our foot connects back to the floor. like so. That's the beginning of the leg. So now if we adjust the position here, you can see this bobs up and down and we get the nice bend in that section of the leg which we want, because this thigh is essentially acting as the bottom as well. So we're going to start by keyframing the position of the thigh. The calf and the foot I don't think we're going to need, so I'm just going to shy these layers, and I'm going to delete these joints like so. We probably should have renamed that as well. Oh well, I would usually call that controller or something, but I forgot to do it. Have some coffee. Right, so we're going to be animating the contacts ups and down positions. So first of all, let's just put in some notes. I like to use C for contact. I'm just going to come forward. I'm going to give the down maybe 3 frames. So then I'm just going to type in this note, D for down, come forward about 9 frames, we'll come forward 10 frames, and we'll call this contact. We'll come forward again another 3 frames, we'll throw in it down. Finally coming forward another 10 frames, and I'm going to call this L for loop, so this will end our cycle, and then we can coming back 3 frames as well, and I'm just going to put an up in here. And the same over here. So then somewhere between the down and the up, about halfway between here, there will be the pass positions, but I'm not going to keyframe pass positions. I'm going to just use the graph editor and stuff for that. Right, so to begin with, we need to position our foot for the first contact position. Now I see this torso part as being the kind of maybe the highest point, so we're going to keep that for the, actually we might need a pass position checked in. We'll just leave it here. So the contact, when the leg's stretched out, this torso will be down ever so slightly, because the leg will be stretched right back here. So I'm just going to put it something like that, and then let's go to the next contact. So we'll put this keyframe over here, so we've got this kind of bob in motion, and finally we'll paste it at the end, and this little in between frame we'll paste over here. So now we've got our torso bobbing up and down as the character will walk. Right, so let's start doing the rest of the walk cycle. So the next contact position will be somewhere the front like so. I imagine it will be a straight leg, and we'll add some toe rotation, something like that. So basically the leg's dead straight and the toes collapsing to reach the floor, so this limb's going to be real loose and floppy. And then in between here we'll have our first raised frame. So this is like the pass position. We should probably do the down first actually. So for the down on the back legs, we kind of do we copy this position frame, and it actually sort of pushes back a little bit. The leg folds inwards, and as does the toe. I'm just going to check my reference, it's been a while since I did it. That is not looking very nice. Let's maybe make the thigh come down a bit more. That's probably too much. Alright, let's just forget about the down for now. I can't. It's going to be really fiddly. Let's just try and get these key poses right first. So what we're going to do is just move these positions so we've got this nice arced motion. It's going to hit there, and then it's going to slide back to the loop. So we can use the Malmograph cloner to clone the first frames back like so. And then the contact here, the pass position here, sorry, will be just dead straight along the floor. So as you can see at the minute, on the positions here, we've got these handles that we need to sort out. So if you hold Alt and click and drag, you just want to straighten these bits out. So the foot should run smoothly across the floor. So this down position, we need the toe to straighten out. And then as you can see, it's not on the floor anymore, so we're going to have to lower the foot slightly, so we get that kind of collapsing motion here on the foot. And it's going to have to slightly adjust this handle. So we got this kind of stomp motion. For the down here, we're just going to rotate the foot outwards as if it's coming off and lifting from the ground. Like so. Feels a bit violent when we got this kind of overlap here, so I think what that means is we've stretched this position out a bit too far, so we're just going to adjust some of these keyframes a little bit. Overall I think that's feeling a bit smoother. again with our contact. I think that's how I did it before, is this position would be more for the down. And then this contact's actually a bit further forward, so there's a slight slide back here. Let's just clean these up. So there's a slight slide back to the down. So then this foot needs to rotate after the down, sorry. It's all very fiddly. I'm by no means a pro at doing horse walk cycles or deers. I've only done it twice and it's very tricky, so this tutorial is probably not going to be the best. And then the lift. Let's just copy these front frames because we've modified them slightly back to the front here. We've got some horrendous stuff going on with these charts. What's going on here? I accidentally moved something then. Right, so on this last position, I'm just going to try and smooth this graph out a little bit. That graph, path, sorry. Let's just play that. I think this is maybe a bit too high, and we're gonna make it higher up here so we get this kind of like up position, so it's been pushed up before coming down to the contact. So we're gonna curve this ever so slightly, so it's got this upward motion. How is that looking? I'm just going to refer back to my one quickly. Yeah, I think we're sort of getting there. We've got that kind of nice. What we haven't done is added any rotation to this leg as it comes forward. So I think on my one I brought this up so it like gives a bit more of a compressed feel, and then it stomps down and drags nicely across. We got some weird stuff going on here. This is rotating too soon, that's why. So we want this bit dead straight here. As it comes up, it compresses and stomps down. So you could get ugly here with the foot, well not ugly but more fine tune this. So we get that kind of, that feels a bit better. Overall I'm pretty happy with that motion so far, I think. I'm aware that this is a tutorial, so I don't really want to fine tune it so much. Like I would usually spend quite a long time on this. For example, building that took quite a few hours. I would jump into the graph editor and adjust these frames so we've got some nice like ease in between this point and this point, and sort of quick snap upwards and stuff. But I don't think, for the sake of this tutorial, it's worth me spending all that time in the graph editor. So we're just going to stick to linear frames for now, and I'm just going to show you how to do the next stage. Ooh. I realise I've done a bit of a mistake here. I should have expanded these. We're going to want to change the skin colour of the... Not a problem, I know what I'm going to do. So these are currently for the back foot. If you press another shortcut, which is called Command or Control E, that will open up this layer's Illustrator file, and you can make changes. I realise I've messed this up slightly. I'll correct the files when I put them online. So currently, if you look back at here, okay, no, I must have done it completely different. But we want the front layer to be this like nicer pink colour and the back layer to be dark. So the way I'm going to do that is when this opens up, I do need to open up the... Oh man, this tutorial's falling apart. Falling apart. I apologise, guys. 1 second. Right, so we're going to need to get the colour of the head, which now isn't opening. Is it going to open now? There we go. Right. Apologies for the delay. Right. So we're going to get this colour. This computer runs really slow when I'm running the video and screen recording software, which is a bit of a pain. So we're going to select all the same colour of this dark, and we're going to paste it on here. So we've got the front leg in this colour. Now if we hit save, this will update here, and that's what we want. So now the naming of these layers are wrong, but it's fine, I'll sort this out. I'm going to colour all of this yellow. We're just going to Command D it. Was that? No, that wasn't how I did it. Sorry. I am chatting complete shit. So we got rear legs here. We're going to call this rear leg front. We're going to duplicate it up here, so right? And we're going to call this rear leg back. And in the back layers, we are going to get this colour and we're going to apply a fill effect. I'm going to change this colour to the colour we want. I'm going to then copy this effect and paste it on these layers. The toe we're going to duplicate and we're going to explode it, convert it to a shape layer, sorry, and then we're going to hit A, on both these layers. We're going to copy the anchor point position of the original one to here, the position values to line it up back in place, and then we can delete the old one. So now this should be working fine. Yep. And then we're going to toggle down into the shape layers, and we want to select group 3 and 2. I'm going to change the fill color to this color too. Like so. So now we've got the darker shade and the front shade. That was long-winded, I apologize. So what we're going to need to do for the rear leg is select all of these keyframes using Mount Monograph Cloner. I'm going to clone them out, and then we're going to zoom out a little bit, select all the keyframes, and the contacts need to be shifted. So this contact is now going to need to come to the front. So now if we make a new composition, I'm just going to call this Deer Full. This is where we're going to chuck all the layers. Actually no, we'll call this Deer Rear Legs. We'll make the full composition later on. So then here we're going to chuck the front and back legs in. And here we go, here we have them. And if we get to where we have the loop, come a frame forwards, and if we hit preview, we've now got the legs working against each other. There's a bit of issues on the rear leg when we did the Mount Monograph Cloner. It's fucked our path, so we just need to smooth this out again. That's annoying that it does that sometimes, but I think that should just be about all we need to do. And that's smoother. Here we got the rear legs. Obviously, when you compare it to what I've got here, the animation's a bit better there. I feel like we haven't quite got the pull back perfect on this one, but as I said, I would have spent hours on it before, whereas this is me trying to do it as quick as possible, and again it hasn't been that quick because it's complicated. But this is how we get the sort of motion for the rear legs. So there we have it, folks. That's how we animate out the rear legs. In part 2 we're going to be doing the same for the front legs, and then we're going to be combining the rear and the front and making sure they work in sync together. So I'll see you guys in part 2.